There we go.
Now recording.
Technology.
God damn it,
Uh,
huzzah.
Did you modify his permissions? Because I didn't.
No, I haven't fucked with his permissions. I just know bots are weird like that.
Yeah. All I did was hit enter again.
Oh, yeah,
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Actual Play Broadcast. We are playing Aldfair tonight, hosted and GM'd by Zemian.
Yes.
To recap what we did last time, everyone kind of recovered from their spirit journey that they had, and I say spirit journey or dreams or whatever you want to call it. Bad times. We're gonna go with bad times. We confirmed. Yeah, writes notes harder. We confirmed something that we already kind of knew with Lou, which was that he was a follower of Cyrus, but then revealed something that had been sitting on my mind a little bit. That the child of Cirrus and Zikros is on this continent somewhere. It was the young blue-haired girl that was, after being like having a ritual cast on her, the followers then killed themselves with the in-game, with the exception of a chosen few who.
I like how every time you bring her up, you add on a new fact that didn't happen.
What I do?
You just said they cast a ritual on her. Last time you were saying they did a ritual in front of her. She wasn't there for the ritual. Now they're casting the ritual on her. Okay.
I thought that's how they are concealing her.
No.
I'm trying.
You never saw them do anything to her other than she was led to a separate chamber. She wasn't there for the suicide, like I explained last time.
Well, no, I know that she was there for a suicide, but I thought they did a ritual to, conceal her presence. I'd go back and listen to the recording, but it's boring.
That's allegedly.
Oh, it's allegedly. Gotcha.
Allegedly.
So I'm not going to change my statement.
That's what Lou claims happened.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Just Lou just says allegedly to us constantly. But she's somewhere on the continent, and now we have. Well, we don't have to, but it is probably in our best interest if we want to kill Headgear, which Tilk is all for, to find her and keep her safe. We then negotiated out the deal for getting the Pheonix feather. Taking the contract to get an intact Pheonix feather is 1,000 gold pieces. Additional on return with additional materials, such as ashes or additional feathers. Part of the payment is a alchemical kit upon completion. Additional materials also does not stop the possibility of us getting a Pheonix chick or trying to get a baby Pheonix of some sort and, seeing what they can do with that. And probably cause problems, but gabagool.
It's very much it's very much not expected.
Yeah, it's very much not expected. The main deal, this is what you need to complete the job is get a Pheonix feather, an intact Pheonix feather.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was where we left off.
Yeah. Last I recall, y'all didn't have any necessarily leads to find where a Pheonix is. It sounded like your plan was to just go out there
I
we were
thought we
given.
did when we were first told about it. It was like somewhere in mountains to the southeast or something.
No, that has to
Given.
do with the mountain that has potentially the resources that the artificers would like to have.
Give me 1 second. Scrolling up to it. We did get a lead on it.
Yeah. We were told where it was. I do remember that. I just might have gotten mixed up where.
I don't think it's in space.
No.
No.
No, but we can ride around in our favorite spaceship.
True.
It was to the where a phoenix was potentially sighted was in the northeast. Someone saw something that they would describe as a phoenix flying around. Whether or not that's an actual phoenix, but it's enough for the Alchemist Guild to.
So your lead is a vague direction.
Correct.
It is. I mean, unless I guess we can spend a little bit of time asking around if anybody else knows, but other than that, I think that's all we got.
Well,
Good.
my
I'm
thought-
just saying, like, you know.
we weren't just gonna fucking hop on the ship and just go, all right, we're going this way until we hit something.
Yeah.
We're not complete idiots.
I think,
Um,
asking around is probably a good idea.
We could ask around here, but I imagine since we do have a number of farmers and farmland out in the northeast, not like a large number, but that's where the first sighting was reported, was in that direction by a local. That would be where we'd want to probably start asking questions. Maybe look out on ourselves. If anyone with knowledge of Pheonix is available, that'd be super, super swell.
I can probably roll knowledge arcana, I assume.
You can try.
Oh, you know what? Nothing gained, right?
Nothing
Sure.
ventured, nothing gained.
Plus, I believe I get a plus 14 to this. Yes. No. Plus 17. See, I was about to cramp myself out of a few numbers. So what's a 35 tell me? What did I read in Zaban's journals?
That phoenixes are largely extinct in the old world. There have
Damn.
been some sightings of them in the north, near the northern wastes. Allegedly, there have been sightings of them in the far south in the Kingdom of the Drow, but Zaban's journals never included any actual sightings of them. And they
Okay.
tend to layer high up off the ground.
So so that's about as good as where they were probably made their nest was just anywhere high up off the ground.
Yeah. You,
Okay.
with your
Yeah, that's what I'm
knowledge
more
of the
looking
old
for.
world, like, you can piece together, like, chances are, once upon a time, they were probably indigenous to the Dragonlands.
Mhm.
And, well, they're called the Dragonlands. That maths.
Yeah.
Rhea, unfortunately, 18. There's stories of phoenixes.
They're cool.
Never heard of anybody ever seen one.
They're cool stories. But
Yeah, they supposedly are immortal.
I swear I remember someone asking, like, when we were first talked about phoenixes, someone did a knowledge check. Is this like, yeah, your mentor bothered one once upon a time. They attacked him and pissed him off. I mean, that sounds like half our mentors, though.
That might have been Liana's mentor. The old man.
That would make sense to be Liana's mentor.
I'm a mage and I fucked around with the local wild.
You like jazz? Um,
And I'm just imagining him going Steve Irwin on that. Right. This is
God.
Fucking miss Steve Irwin. That was a magical time.
Anyhow. So we have a direction. We have locals that we can ask. Do we think anyone will be knowledgeable in town?
I mean, it would make sense to ask the artificers and the alchemists and possibly the magistrate or magister. Actually, that reminds me. Before we go, I do want to see about shifting the memories of Lady Silvermoon to Erstyle here for review. Do we think we can meet with our friend? Name escapes me. For some reason. Bad with names. The general dude. I'm sorry. I'm blanking on the name.
High Hand.
Yeah, High Hand. Yes. That should be enough to at least point us in a direction of her disposition.
Well, she is a consort, from my understanding.
Yes, but I don't need her. I just need High Hand.
Ah. I mean, it just becomes a question of whether or not he's busy then.
Yeah. I need High Hand and I need Erstyle in the area with me.
Money.
Well, something that we should keep in mind is that if us roaming around to, take on adventures and quests together, probably not going to be viewed as a threat by Marlowe. However, if we start meeting officials like High Hand beyond the
but we
general
can-
introduction or like at a tavern for food,
I mean, having lunch with him will serve as a suitable cover, I suppose. Is that what they call it, Erstyle?
Potentially.
just
Excuse.
excuse, also good. It's just a thing that I want us to keep in mind, that if we're like, when we're meeting officials, we need to probably do it with a degree of separation so as to not attract unnecessary ire.
Yes, I mean it. I'm simply casting a spell. It would be. It is a 6-minute or 6-second thing that can be done at any time that both of those people are in a room with me for any
No,
reason.
that's fine. I'm just
Not
making.
suggesting that we do anything more. Simply, I know that we talked about wanting to gauge that before we even thought about doing anything.
Yes. Also, oh no, I remember informing everyone that Marlowe has a trick up his sleeve for
Yeah.
getting around.
Aside, I can meet with the Magister possibly for this Pheonix business. If anyone is going to know, it is the mysterious lizard folk or Dracon that is in a position of power now.
And also been on the continent longer than us, I'd imagine.
If he didn't row in with us, and it seems likely. I wonder if the Drow brought him.
It's a non-zero possibility.
Seems like the most likely. I don't think that there are going to be Dracon on this continent of sufficient number to just find us randomly.
Well, maybe you can ask him when you arrange a meeting.
Yeah, I can do that. Hopefully, they don't decide to bleed us dry for funds or what have you.
Yep.
I mean, they're gonna be woefully
that-
disappointed if that's the case.
Yeah. That said, I would prefer to meet with High Hand first to get the magic things out of the way.
Well, that's fine. He'd probably also be our way to contact the Magister.
Fair. I was going to just walk over and ask if I could speak to him.
Oh, we also don't know if like we have to schedule a meeting or how bureaucratical that situation is. We haven't
Yes, I.
stepped in backed into this territory in some time. He could have a full schedule.
Yeah, I hadn't exactly thought of that.
But high end first, probably not difficult reaching out to him.
Indeed.
Cool. Yeah. So, you guys make your way out to the main gate. And it takes like a few minutes to get somebody to go grab High Hand, and yeah, he strolls up. Right, what can I do for you all today?
Well, we're all here. Is there anyone particularly like around us?
I mean, there are some guards, but like you're at the gate. People don't exactly. It's not a bustling part of the city. Like there's the bashful griffin, like 100 feet behind you, but
I actually think that
Yeah.
doing this might be better now. Sir Highhand. I forgot if we asked. Is the sir thing bad now?
no,
Okay, good.
it's not
Well,
really
I
a
feel more comfortable addressing
title.
that, sir.
It's a, I don't know, some kind of honorable referential thing. I don't know. It's not a title. It's not a nobility thing.
It's not Lord.
Understandable. I remember you talked about and like she lowers her voice just a bit more less conspicuous about the talking. I remember you mentioned worries about Miss Silverman.
Oh, sorry.
Could you just think about that for a moment? One of the times that you talked that you were worried.
While he's doing this, Tilk is going to make it a point to chat up the guards about like local troubles and like local wildlife information he probably already has, but enough to like keep them like from listening in or paying attention to him or her.
Why do you want me to be thinking about that?
It is how this will work. And she waves her fingers. Magic.
What
Don't
are
worry,
you
it's
trying to do?
nothing bad. It's just going to let me glean it for a bit so that I might have Urstyle take a look. It will allow us to see the events as you remember them. And Urstyle, of all people, should be able to decipher any intent at the time.
Looks up from the
Right. Fine, I guess.
Cool. I will cast Share Memories, and I'm going to pull his memories of whichever time he is thinking of talking to Silverman.
Okay.
For making sure I keep the guards distracted from watching them actively perform magic on one of the High Council. Is diplomacy fine, or do you want me to do something else? Or are they simple enough to be like, no, well, no, I'm engaged in this conversation. I don't know what's going on over there.
I'm gonna make a check. I'm gonna roll die.
Okay.
You're good. They don't seem to be terribly bothered.
Okay.
Assuming that he is willing, it just goes off. I just have to touch him,
Okay.
so like shake a hand or what have you. The memory can be up to 1 minute. And then I can use that and cast it again on Earthstyle and share that new memory that I have seen to him.
Okay. I'm not gonna role play out a conversation between two NPCs.
No, totally.
The short of it, it's kind of a hazy memory now. But it looks like it might be in a tent, you think? It's not clear, but the memory encapsulates Silver Moon telling him that she is going to put herself in the position of consort so that she can kind of both keep an eye on him and to kind of temper him a bit. A high hand obviously thinks that's a bad idea. It's way too dangerous. You know, she's probably underestimating him, all things considered. And she makes it clear, like, she's aware that she's nobility and she thinks the safest place for her to be is in his shadow, essentially. And there's an uneasy feeling in the memory which you can pick up as, like, you know, lingering emotional imprints on the recollection. And then not seeing her for several days afterwards.
I figured if she is lying and the memory's clear enough, of anybody that could make a sense motive, it would be
Yeah.
Earthstyle.
Yeah.
I guess it is time for me to roll a sense motive. Dun, 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 dun.
This is a fun spell to have.
I didn't realize shrug was an actual thing in the command box for Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
I will use a mythic point for this as well.
Okay.
You get a 26.
You get the feeling that she was telling the truth for her reasons for positioning herself to be consort.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
She's also not the red vampire in this memory.
God motherfucking damn it!
or can you be sure?
Oh. When are we done looking at this memory backtrace?
Yep.
Are we done looking at this memory?
I mean, yeah, it's only a minute long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I sense not a high hand.
Okay. Roll it.
23.
Yeah, he's definitely seen a lot. There'd be lots of opportunities for a creature like the Red Lineage Vampire to observe him, to copy him. But because he's seen a lot, it would also be hard to get away with killing him. You don't know. If it was properly motivated and it did find an opportunity, maybe. Probably not, but maybe.
There's always a chance. There's always a chance.
Yeah.
So yeah, after, you know, done viewing the memory, Aristotle makes a note in his notepad. Looks up at a high hand. Looks down at his notes. Looks up at a high hand. Evil eye.
Evil Eye. What does Evil Eye do?
Oh, okay. No. Not evil eye, because that's actual witch thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gives him the stink eye, basically. It's like stare.
Uh-huh. Gotcha.
And then looks back at his notes and makes a note. Mm,
Gotcha. He doesn't acknowledge that. He definitely sees it, but he doesn't acknowledge it.
Well, I don't sense anything wholly amiss, and from a political standpoint, he's moving in a position that makes a lot of sense.
Well, I suppose that will serve its purpose here. She gives a nod to High Hand. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Let us know if there's anything you need.
One moment, high hand. One more thing.
Yes.
If we wanted to speak to the magistrate,
Yes.
Right.
What would be the correct way to go about that, so as to not cause a ruckus?
You normally can't really get an audience with him. Prextor is a bit of something of a recluse. I could he kind of looks up at the wall behind him, sees everybody is kind of, still doing their jobs, and considers for a moment. I guess I could march you over to his little tower or whatever.
We just have a question on a potential Pheonix in the area.
We figured he would know most about it, and we just want to get this job done. Make money, pay rent.
Right. Yeah, if you want, I can try to get you in front of him. No guarantees, but I can try.
It'd be nice.
It'd be nice.
Only for questions on our job.
All right. Well, follow me then. And
Sure, so.
he will march you all across the city, back to the high street, and essentially like a block or so over. It's not really a tower. I mean, it's tower-like, but it's not really a tower. It's just a tall building.
It is phallic shaped.
No, it is rather square.
Okay.
Rectangular. Yeah. The glory of Alchemicrete architecture, generally.
If it ain't Baroque, don't fix it.
You're basic.
Yes. But he heads up to the door and gives it a very hefty knock, and you can see, runes and stuff start lighting up on the door. And there's a pause. About a minute goes by. Hammers his fist on the door again. Runes on the door flare again, and then when he's getting ready to start hammering a third time after another minute goes by, the door does open, and you see the yellow-scaled dragonborn with his potentially glass eye. I can't remember if you all actually rolled anything on that.
I did.
I sense motive anyways.
By all means. And his definitely fucked up looking arm.
Oh no!
No.
No.
Now that you think about it, since Since you came to this city, I mean, this guy's been suspicious. Never seen him before. He's supposedly new. Nobody's really sure where he came from. He apparently doesn't
buddy-buddy with
socialize
Mama.
very much. Like, and he's in a position of power. Like, it's kind of suspicious. It's really fucking suspicious, actually.
Oh no, no.
Um,
First
Oh,
out, just
boy.
standing in the back of the group, is just staring over. Wait, who's the tallest one of our group that's currently here?
I think it's actually Rhea.
No.
no.
Right, sure.
How tall are you, Tilk?
Let me double check. I think I'm 5'6".
Oh,
5'5".
God. Oh,
I'm
God, I'm the
5'8".
tallest motherfucker.
How tall are you?
Jesus fucking Christ. I am 5'10".
Oh, okay. You're a couple inches taller than I am.
Oh, okay, that's okay. That actually works then.
Yeah, Svetta's 5'8".
her-
She's
her
actually a
style-
tall girl.
Her style is kind of just in the back of the group, behind Kalara, and just
Talara.
Oh wait,
Damn. She hopped universes.
Sveta. I'm sorry. I wasn't reading the name prompts right. Yeah, no. Just kind of casually leans around a little bit to look past Sveta's head. Squints. Makes note in a notepad.
The Dragonborn squints and just looks at you all expectantly.
Hi. We were just hoping to proverbially pick your brain about some arcane aligned things in an effort to get a job done for the Alchemist Guild. If
All right.
you have the time.
I'm here, aren't I?
She gives a little curtsy in an effort to not aggravate him further. We appreciate it.
He just continues to look at you all.
Do you want to talk here, or should we come in?
We can talk here.
Excellent. What do you know about Pheonixes?
That's a lot of information. You're gonna have to narrow it down. I don't have all day to lecture you on the intricacies of Phoenixes.
More specifically, we were hoping to understand their habitat, or if you've seen any around.
Depends on the kind of phoenix you're looking for.
It's not aware there were multiple.
He, like, clawed fingers just scrape at the bridge of his muzzle.
Admittedly, we were only asked for a phoenix feather. It was not discriminated by some variety.
Well, that really narrows it down.
You know what we know, for better or worse.
Why we
Many
seek an
Phoenix on
expert's
this,
opinion.
continent?
The only phoenixes that make, well, the primary type of phoenix that makes its way down here are ruby phoenixes.
Ruby. Okay.
Sveta will actually pull her own notebook and take notes.
I assume Ruby is just more of a partially a description of what color is their primary coloring.
Yes.
Okay.
The ruby phoenix tends to comprise of fiery colored feathers, hence being called ruby.
Makes sense. Okay.
And how intelligent are these creatures? Would we be able to hold a conversation with them, or would it be maybe a smart animal?
If you could speak their language, you could. If they wanted to talk to you, even.
Is that their own language, or do they borrow from another?
They typically speak the elemental tongues.
No, that may be difficult.
So
Oh,
where do they roost?
Well, they are birds. So, I would hope, if you're really going to do this, you'd be smart enough and understand that most birds roost off the ground. So,
Mhm.
high up.
Yes, but would they prefer a plateau or a mountainous region? We're looking more for specifics.
Depends
If
on
you
the type
have-
of phoenix.
And let's assume ruby phoenix, since that is we have not been given a descriptor, and you said that is the most common
In this area.
In this area.
in this area. Yes.
They will tend towards mountains more than likely, or particularly rocky outcroppings, hills, what have you.
huh? Yeah, perhaps probably high up and common to this continent.
Would
Do you have
would
a
such a
rough
creature be?
estimate of size?
What was that, Ollie?
Do you have a rough estimate of how big they are, or the size of them?
Well, the only time I've seen one up close, it was about, rough estimate, about 15 feet tall, foot to head, wingspan massive.
Would such creatures be willing to trade a feather, or do they guard them first?
If you can manage one to talk to you, it might be possible to get them to give away a feather, but I wouldn't hold my breath. They are not known for being chatty.
Are they known to be hostile as a default, or are they simply isolationistic?
If you're planning to roll up on one of their nests, they will absolutely rather gut you before talking to you.
All right.
Animals tend to do that.
Oh,
Sense.
yes.
Makes sense.
I found intelligence makes things a little more messy.
Silk would like to sense motive. I'm trying to
Sure.
figure out what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to see like if he's lying to us, if like purposely misleading us. I'm wanting to see if he's trying to read anything from this conversation. I kind of doubt it, but Tilk would want to know because this is someone in the inner circle, and could have lace his words in
Mhm.
position. What is it? I forgot. It's garbage. I'm gonna use one of my surges. It's hot garbage. 11.
You get the feeling he doesn't like you.
Don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. Otherwise, hard read. Like, he's fucking. There is the obvious annoyance in his voice and his appearance, but beyond that, yeah.
All right. So got what he wanted out of this venture. If anyone else has other questions, free to it.
Um, We could get more information, but at what cost?
Uh, i- his patience.
And hours, honestly.
If we don't have anything else that we need from him immediately, I suggest we just move
Yeah,
on.
I think we've gotten. I guess I will take the long shot. Have any been spotted recently? In any particular direction? Or
Not
would
around
you?
here.
Thank you.
What sort of prey do they hunt? Because I'm guessing they are a predatory bird.
Anything they can kill,
Yeah.
which is a lot of things.
True.
Would they primarily attack it with fire or with talon?
I couldn't say.
When did you see the Phoenix?
When did I see the Phoenix?
Yeah.
I highly doubt it's the Phoenix you're looking for. But the
No.
last Phoenix I saw was 10 years ago.
Are they migratory in the sense that they usually come around on a yearly basis or some time frame of sorts? Kind of like other birds of less arcane and more
They are
mundane?
very individual creatures. They are not like lesser birds that migrate for the seasons and such. They do what suits them. Some of them leave for a time, some of them don't.
Okay.
It is hard to
sounds
nail
very
down their
intelligent.
habits in that regard.
Makes note. Okay.
All right. Silk will nod unless anyone else wants to chime in with a question.
No, I think I'm done here.
Uh, Thank you for your time, Magister Prexter. Sorry to bother you on such a wonderful day.
Slams the door.
Well, that was pleasant.
What a fine fellow. I
Yes,
say that
that is,
with.
that's
Yeah.
Brickstore for you.
Oh,
I
so we didn't do anything personally. He just hates everyone.
Like I said, he stays in this tower most of the time. He doesn't really care for people.
I see.
With the exception of present company and Liana's mentor, I don't know most mages to be gregarious. That's a big word for
I
Tilt. You be
mean,
proud of him.
Zaban was short, but if you got past the rough exterior, he was quite nice. He was a Dracon even.
Didn't he send you on a bunch of random running around the city to get you out of his hair?
No, it was more to have me get practical experience. I could read books all day, but they don't mean anything if I don't know where to look for things.
Hmm.
I mean, unless that was to get me out of his hair, and I'm simply misconstruing it. I think he'd be more honest with me.
He
Either
certainly won't. You certainly get the distinct feeling he didn't really like us. Probably not surprising. Well,
No, trust me, he pretty much talks to everybody like that except for the king.
I see.
But he just rolled into town one day?
Yeah, came out of the wilds. Just him.
So, that's so peculiar.
Just his bag and the clothes on his back.
Now he's a magister.
Yeah,
Upward
funny that.
mobility.
How long ago after
Interesting.
we left did he show up?
We're walking and talking at this point.
Yeah.
Had been. It's been so long now. He scratches at his beard a bit. Maybe. I think it was 7, 8 months, something like that.
I'm not one to like have conspiracies. It just seems oddly timed. But I suppose at that length of time, it could have been anybody who showed up.
On foot from the wilds. I think it's suspicious.
Oh, of course. I just don't think that it was. It's maybe related to our disappearance.
That I don't know.
I do have a thought in regards to the Pheonix. Earth style. Is there any limitations to what creatures can imbibe your extracts?
I haven't tested that.
Would you like to?
What are you thinking?
Yes.
I'm thinking that we get a fresh kill. If we can locate it. The first part would be to locate a Pheonix. But a way that we could facilitate communication and non-violence would be to spike a fresh kill with your elixir.
And that would take care of its end. And I can cast it on myself.
And then we'd only need a second elixir for someone else to facilitate communication.
Oh, like I said, I can cast comprehend languages on myself.
I mean, that's not hard. I can just swap out one of my elixirs, so one extra elixirs over here for 2 of those. Maybe 3.
I don't know how your magic works, so I don't know which of those is more efficient on resources, so you two can figure that out. It's just a thought. It may not even work. We don't know.
I can only use such a spell on myself. I think his alchemy has the advantage in
As long as you
not
drink
reliability.
from the vial, it'll
Flexibility.
work on you. Yeah.
So no, it's just a thought, but we need to find the creature first. My thought would be to ask locals that are farther northeast.
Well, if we have northeast and we have a biome, we can probably get Cassilian's help. Or Castians. That's my I brain farted for a moment.
Yeah.
We can get Castian's help on finding one. With the distance that we can cover in him and his ability to find life forms, I think that we can quite expediently find a Pheonix, as long as we can narrow down the general area.
If I remember correctly, the range was rather limited on that.
Yes. But he can move rather fast.
True. It's just more of a concern of does the Pheonix... Prexter seems to make it sound like it's a bit smarter than your average animal and a lot more powerful.
Oh, it sounds highly intelligent, yes.
So it could view it as another flying object entering its airspace as being potential territory infringement.
Well, I think that I doubt, since it sounds like they're not super hostile to just anything that enters an area, it may be fine to fly overhead as long as it seems like we are not going for its nest.
It's also a question of whether or not Castian has such a creature in their database. I wouldn't know that word.
Potentially.
I mean, we have a size, and there can't be that many animals in any given area of such a size.
No, and we probably can.
So that would make it easy to narrow down any kind of general search.
And with that size, they are probably hunting very big targets.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We can, because there can't be that many animals in any area that are 15 feet toe to head.
Mm-hmm.
It should
Yeah.
be relatively easy to get and have it narrowed down and find some reliability in that kind of search. If that makes sense.
I think the wingspan of that thing must be enormous.
Hmm.
It's roughly 15 feet tall. It probably have at least a 4 times wingspan.
We
Oh,
can
no.
probably look at its wingspan being. I think birds are often 3 times their body size and wingspan.
Roughly speaking.
Or is it 5?
Like 3 or 4.
Yes. So we can easily see a 15, 45, 60-foot wingspan easy.
I imagine that also means it'd be easy for people to spot with something being so bright and red. So, hoping
Hmm.
the locals may be to point us from a place that's, if we can
Well,
substantiate the claim, we can get a direction, a more specific direction.
that would be assuming that there are locals in the Northeast.
We have a farm out there. That's where they heard. That's where the Alchemist Guild got the rumor from.
Oh, they got the rumor that someone may have seen it in the Northeast, but we won't have any more specifics, I think, than perhaps what we have. That said, it is our best lead, so it doesn't hurt us to ask.
So what's the move?
I believe
Head to
we're
the Northeastern Farms.
head to a northeastern farm. Thank you,
Okay.
Sir Highhand, for your time and taking us to meet Prexter.
Oh, it's fine. Don't let his sour mood ruin your day.
My day's just getting started.
Right. He will lead you out the gates of the city and send you on your way towards the northernmost farms. By the time you get there, it's about 1 in the afternoon. But you get out to these farms and you can see like there's on the northern end here there are large stretches of corn being grown. And you do eventually happen across somebody making their way down what is slowly become a dirt road, with a cart being pulled by an aurochs and a middle-aged gentleman in the driver's seat.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Sir, do you need help?
Some directions potentially. Are you from the farm in the northeast?
Yeah, this is my land.
Excellent. We've heard rumors of a big red bird out in the area. Do you have any more specifics on that?
Oh, big red bird. It does a think. I'm going to make a roll. Okay. All right.
Mm. 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 Yeah, he taps his chin. I don't know about red, but I have seen I have seen some what have to be some sizable birds in the sky a few months back.
What color were they?
What? Yeah.
I mean, I could tell they were big with, how big they was in the distance. But they weren't close enough for me to see what color they were.
Gotcha.
They were real high up there.
Could you point us what direction that was?
Yeah. I was out in that field over there, and I saw. He points mostly north, like just about direct north.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that lives out in this area that might have seen something like that?
Well, I remember I did some asking around when I saw them. Nobody else had said they'd seen any such things. But who knows? Maybe somebody's seen something since then. At the time, though, people thought I was just talking crazy. Heat was getting to me.
Well, what's your name, good sir?
Fuck you. I hate you.
I
wasn't gonna let
hate you.
I wasn't gonna let you get away.
Hate
You
criticism.
will, name's Jackson.
Excellent default.
Yep.
Steve.
You're not even gonna tell he's from because it doesn't matter anymore because the old world is gone, just like your fucking families.
But what's his last name?
He doesn't have one. Why else would he be using a town name?
First spotted the bird. Right. You said they thought you were crazy?
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
you know
why is
how it
that?
is. You're out here working in the heat all day. You
Oh.
start to see things sometimes. It gets hot out here.
You
Out here under the sun.
see anything else?
Anything else? Like what?
Just anything that struck you as odd or unusual.
I remember years back when I saw that what was his name? That yeller feller that came
Dexter.
into town. Yeah, that's the one. I remember the day he showed up. I wasn't farming then. I was working on the walls. The new walls. And yeah, I remember him coming down here. He came on down here from what was it? Came on out of here from the northeast. Just walking. The casual as ever, like it like it was any day of the week. Just stroll in the woods or whatever. I turned around, I nudged my buddy, and I was like, "Now that right there, that's bad news." I guess it ended up all right. Weird fella though, from what I hear.
Quite.
Other than that, nothing crazy weird other than the animals. Mice the size of fucking, I don't even know what. Dogs, pigs. Fucking crazy.
Are they good to eat?
Yeah, they're all right.
A little gamey.
Yeah. It's kind of like rabbit, almost. Kind of
Any
squirrely
rabbits?
though too. Some, not very many though. There haven't
Are
been
they
any
normal
rabbits out
size
here
or-
for a while. Yeah, they're
Are-
normal size for some reason. But they're like
That-
they not like the rabbits back home. Their ears stick up straight as a rod. And they're fast as hell. And they will kick the shit out of you. Make no mistake.
I thought at
Personal
first you were.
experience.
No, but I saw it happen to my my friend. He tried to catch one with his bare hands. He kind of got his nose broken. Didn't let
Ow.
him live that one down for a few weeks.
If it wasn't for the fact they're normal rabbit size, I would have thought you were describing a fucking kangaroo, and I would have been convinced that we are in Australia.
I mean, we are, but that's beside the point.
What if I told you this continent was more than just Australia?
It's space Australia.
I have several comments, but I will keep them to myself.
We get it. You're from space. My space pod. Oh, my space armor.
God, space dingo gonna eat your space baby, like my sister. Poor Sheila.
Jesus.
We're a bunch of fucking nerds. Anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't got no more questions for him. Do any of you?
Ask how his wife and kids are doing too.
Only if I get to
Oh,
ask
Brad?
their names too.
I'll break your fucking legs.
Can you give me your parents' names just for the records?
Never
Uh,
knew.
Well,
What a coincidence. Me too. We should bond with all of your named friends over it.
I had asked if he's noticed something weird about that bird, right?
I mean,
uh,
it was a big bird as far as he could tell, and it was,
it was a
far
big.
away.
It was a big bird that was far away. Was his issue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
saw a couple of them according to him.
Saw a couple.
Yes.
Okay, that's
What he said implied that he saw more than one.
Oh.
Could have been a family.
Yeah, it was on the same occasion. He hasn't seen them since.
Either
That should narrow it down even more if we're seeing multiple.
yeah. That's something we probably should have asked. If they're solitary or not.
that would have been a good question.
Hindsight is fantastic.
Yeah, you can think
Captain Hindsight.
forever on what you should have asked. You only have so long
Yeah.
to think
Yep.
about what you should.
Well, Jackson, I want to thank you so much for your time. And he will. Choke will
Jackson,
reach
his
in.
name was Steve.
Stop it. Choke will reach into his pouch. Get yourself some brisket in town on me. I will give him 5
Oh,
silver.
thank you. Mighty kind of you.
Not
I'll
a
be sure
problem.
to do that.
You have yourself a wonderful day.
I think I will now. Now that I know I got some good eats waiting for me tonight.
Yeah, you do.
He will urge the ox forward, which gives a bellowing grunt and just casually walks forward. As big as this cart is, it doesn't really seem like it's slowing the aurochs down.
Well, they're super massive cows, so
It's like watching a plow truck just go through like 2 feet of snow, just like it's
Damn,
not
dude.
even there.
It's not.
Yep.
It's not even there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, got some more valuable insight and a more specific direction.
Yep.
We can stop to ask every local to see if they've seen
Seen
strange
some-
birds.
Yeah, my worry is that, well, it's been multiple, it might actually be another thing.
I mean, even if it's a Pheonix, it still needs to reproduce, right?
Yes, yes, it might be a possibility, it might be something else.
I mean, it is the best lead we have to go on. I think that
Yes.
investigating it is going to be worth our while anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's not what I'm saying. That we shouldn't stop. I'm saying that we should prepare for encountering something else.
I mean, we can only prepare for so much.
I will. Tilk will think about it for a moment and he's just like, ooh, maybe I haven't shouldn't have prepared any defense spells yet. Oh well. Gabagool.
I mean, we will. I'm certain we have time, regardless. I doubt that we will be in a fight inside Castian.
Would be preferable. Um so they did say it was a good distance away.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for imposing on Castian is my big issue.
I mean, otherwise he's just sitting in the air. I understand the sentiment, but we have to understand that he is not a person in the same way that you and I are. His wants, desires, needs, and whatnot are not going to be strictly comparable. If we want, we can ask him about what he'd like, but I would not impose our systems and ethics upon him so easily.
I mean,
Magic items, even as ones as complex as Castian, tend to think very differently from us by necessity.
I mean, he's not just an item; he's a tree. They're an entire like structure
He is a
around.
tree made to land somewhere and become more trees for other people. His
I mean, we could.
express purpose in
Mm.
life is to settle and become
We should
a
probably
colony.
ask him if he has any knowledge about phoenixes.
I would be agreeable to this. I think that he is
Earthbound
a
starts
valuable
waving in the
resource.
sky.
You're gonna start waving.
I'm gonna start waving towards the sky.
Okay.
Do we want? We shouldn't be bringing him down here.
I mean, I think we're becoming normalized with the people.
There's
We should probably just
But also,
still
I
be
think
outside.
It's been,
It's a little
Yeah.
close to the city.
there's a rapidly approaching silhouette. As
I
you
will-
are having this
Ah.
conversation.
I will put my hand up with stop.
It comes all the way down a few thousand feet down the road where there is an open patch of land.
Yeah.
You say they're becoming normalized. We've been here for 3 days.
A lot happens in 3 days.
Oh boy.
All right, let's go talk to Castian.
Okay. So you take the couple minutes to walk over. And you see the side door and ramp extend open for you. And you head inside the familiar all wooden interior of Cassian. And you can hear his voice throughout the ship. Welcome back.
Thank you, Castian.
Good to see you, Cassian.
Where
How
are
are
we
you doing
headed?
this fine day?
I'm doing fine.
Well, we are hoping to go Phoenix. Not particularly hunting, but finding, searching. We're
Actually,
becoming
that's just a
Phoenix.
ornithologists.
question real quick. Actually, that brings up a question. Does your knowledge have anything on phoenixes or things of that nature?
I have a lot of data on phoenixes. What would you like to know?
Do you know ruby phoenixes?
I do. They are
Um,
most commonly associated with the summer court.
we were hoping to find one. Alternatively, we may find that there's other phoenix subspecies in the area. It's been cast in the doubt, particularly what is here or has been seen.
I see.
Do you think you would be able to locate one? Should we go to the right area?
It is certainly possible. There are many types of phoenixes, but if you were looking for a ruby phoenix, this is certainly a region that they would find appealing.
Do you think that there are any other varieties that may, of a large bird that might be mistaken for a phoenix, that would be around here?
I'm not familiar enough with this area of this plane. I couldn't say for sure.
Okay. Nothing would stick out as something that would like this biome that could be similar.
While I can recognize this biome would be appealing to a ruby phoenix, it cannot come to certain conclusions about what type of life lives here
Understandable.
outside of certain types of creatures.
That is entirely understandable. That said, we're hoping to get a feather from one, and would prefer to do it without a fight.
I
Do you have
see.
any suggestions from your databases that might be a good way to approach or go about it?
The Sunstar Court typically utilized courtly behavior, as they would put it.
Mm-hmm.
According to the information that has been passed on to my databases, it would be done in a way of gifts. Gifts or favors being performed for the Phoenix.
Good. What sort of gifts would they appreciate?
That information is a little beyond me. My assumption would be naturally something of value to the Phoenix, but Phoenixes are highly intelligent. Their wants and desires can be rather individual.
I guess food may be a good place to start. Do they have a preferred prey or plant that they fruit, what have you?
They are, according to the information I have, omnivores. They will eat a
Okay.
wide variety of things. And if this information is correct, they do prefer to eat their food cooked.
Huh. Maybe they would enjoy brisket.
Perhaps.
Well, I know an amount of courtly behavior.
Even if I'm not titled as such, I've learned a bit of diplomating.
I don't suppose any of you are familiar with the Ignan tongue.
We have the ability to fake it till we make it. That is
I
to
see.
say, magic will be lending us assistance here.
I am
Do you have
ignorant of the
record
ignorant.
of the Ignition?
What was that, Ollie?
Do you have records of eaten and done?
Yes.
Perhaps Erstyle and
Perfect.
I could study it and might cut down on the needed spellcraft.
That can be provided for you.
I'd like to learn it just for future reference at the very least.
For learning a language, it's either going to take a notable amount of in-game time, or the next time you gain a rank in linguistics, you can pick it up.
Yeah, which would require us to
Bit of
level up
both.
for better or worse.
Yes. Like, I am
Effectively
fine with
a bit.
turning it into a project so you can learn languages outside of linguistics rank ups.
Mhm.
That just means that there's a time component and roles involved.
Unfortunately, Toke is kind of dumb.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
at this point, it's almost
You don't
Oh,
need
I'm
to be
not-
smart to pick up a language. It's just, it's a time
Helpful.
component. And yeah, it is helpful.
If I wanted to, I guess I'll start learning Ignin. I'd like to start learning Ignin the time route. Even though that's not end up what
Okay.
we ultimately do, or it's not ready in time. We should
I
still count
mean,
on the comprehend languages, but
essentially, the way that's going to work is you're going to tell me when you want to spend time studying it. You'll essentially have to do it while you're on board casting.
Mhm.
And it'll be I want to spend X amount of time doing this.
Yeah, fair.
interesting.
But if you are planning to
Oh,
do
that
stuff right now, learning that isn't really going to be an option other than, yes, this is what my language database looks like, and just taking a glance over it.
Hmm.
So, just to be clear, they enjoy cooked food. Not surprising, given my understanding of their abilities. Prefer cooked food. Do they? I imagine they prefer. Do they hunt in groups? Are they usually solitary?
According to the information I have, they are generally solitary creatures. They are not opposed to company, but in the wild, considering their size, it is easier for them to be alone.
True, but everything here is
Bigger.
a lot bigger.
It may be it may not be unreasonable for the ecosystem to support multiple.
How often do they reproduce?
It, once again, depends according to my databases. In a more domestic situation, they can reproduce up to once every few years. But in the wild, it fluctuates.
Do phoenixes, I guess, domesticate easily?
Uh, mm,
Do they adapt to life with in cities?
They are
Well enough.
domestic creatures that possess a very elemental nature. They have certain instincts, though they are intelligent, so they can learn to behave, as some would put it. They have been recorded as willing to partake in civilization.
Okay.
it's a very specific turn of phrase. I
how would you? How would we best approach one?
That I am unsure. My data includes recollections and stories that have been passed down from those that left the wood beyond the world. When they left, they did not bring any phoenixes with them, and so I only have stories as information.
In those stories, does it state how long a phoenix is usually a chick until it reaches adulthood?
It is said that it takes about 10 years for them to fully mature.
Okay.
Although, from what I understand, that does not mean they are done growing at their time. It means that they are functionally, sexually
Mature.
adults, but they are not full grown in that time frame.
Okay.
There's a bunch of questions Brandon wants to ask, but I don't know. Tilk doesn't know enough about nature to ask it.
I mean, do you want to pose so that the people who are
Yeah. My thought is, are they monogamous? Do they mate for life? Are they independent from their sires after they reach maturity? Or a number of bird species will visit, quote unquote, visit family and go back to the where their original nesting grounds were to either get assistance from the parents or to socialize.
Yeah, I guess so. Sveta will pose. Uh, we got reports that multiple were seen together. Given their nature, how long do the chicks tend to stay with the parents before moving on?
The chicks remaining with their parents is variable from my information. It depends on the scope of the territory
Okay.
as well as other variables.
Do the parents tend to stay together to raise said chicks, or is it one leaves once they have mated?
Usually they part, but them staying together is not unheard of.
Okay.
So they don't traditionally mate for life. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like with intelligence, it becomes a lot murkier to know any or speak in generalities.
I mean, that's true, but the information either way is variable because then we know like the kind of
Yeah,
circumstance we potentially
she's
walking
posing that
into.
out loud.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of covers the majority of my questions. There being potentially. You've been out
Okay.
here for a couple of days, and you're able to scan life forms, correct?
Yes.
Have you noticed any large avian creatures?
Define large.
15 foot or more, or
No.
about.
I have not.
From what we understand, ruby phoenixes were that. Actually,
Ruby
Cassian, I
phoenixes are
have a
not 15
question.
feet.
Oh,
How
oh,
big are they?
Double check real quick.
I think we
Let's-
got some wrong information, Cassian, or not Cassian, Prickster.
According to my information, the largest recorded ruby phoenix measured just under 64 feet in height.
Oh,
Well,
that's
he probably saw them when they were still a chick by
yeah.
Phoenix
He saw a
standards.
baby.
Or I didn't see it.
That said, it does narrow things down even further.
I don't fully remember. I don't know if he specifically said he saw a ruby phoenix. He said that the phoenix he encountered was 15 feet tall.
Sure.
Yeah. But also we seem to be asking it in relation to Ruby Phoenix's.
Well, yes, and then he still badgered us about things that were not necessarily related to the Ruby Phoenix. He was just
But
answering questions,
Also, the
hoping that we'd stop asking.
also the
That's fair.
way Erstyle asked the question, it wasn't regarding a Ruby Phoenix. It was just a Phoenix that he encountered.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
I was just context cluing.
so, um, hmm. Ooh, um, Sveta,
Mm.
ask Castian about the birds.
Oh yes, I was about to sidetrack to that, and then I got sidetracked again. Cassian, do you know anything about great blue birds with black eyes? They bond with elves? I
I do
had
not
a
know anything
dream,
about
and she will
bonding.
go into the dream.
Okay. I do not know anything about bonding, but the creature you were describing sounds like a young sapphire phoenix.
Huh. Also a phoenix.
Bluebirds.
How coincidental. I saw that, and it has me thinking. Do you know anything about reincarnation?
Yes.
Is it?
The fair folk, as they were once called in the wood beyond the world, experience a type of reincarnation. While within the wood beyond the world, they are storied entities, things of dreams and belief. And so when their story would end, it would begin anew, as all stories do.
Hmm.
All of the fair folk experience this phenomenon while within the wood beyond the world.
This may be a strange question. You said that the Ruby Phoenix is part of the Day Court.
Yes, the Sunstar Court, yes.
The Sunstar Court. Are
Good
all
old.
phoenixes of the same court?
Phoenixes generally do not align with the court as the fair folk do. Phoenixes simply ally with who they feel.
Understood. So it's more a
That said,
generalization.
it was notably rare to find a phoenix within the Autumn Court or within the Withertide Court.
Interesting to know.
Well, that about does it for my questions.
Yeah, I may come up with more. Just rechecking my notes. It was a what phoenix that was the blue ones?
A sapphire.
Sapphire. Okay. Would Well, I guess when we talk about reincarnation, is there any records of a elf becoming a human? One of the fair folk, I suppose?
No.
Hmm.
When they reincarnate as whatever type of bear folk they were. A doppelganger
Okay.
will always be a doppelganger. A red cap will always be a red cap. An
Hmm.
elf will always be an elf.
Yet I have memories of people different than my own.
I'm sorry, that is beyond my knowledge.
No, I understand. I'm just thinking aloud. Thank you, Cassian. It's been actually very illuminating and helpful.
Of
Well,
course.
there's one question that I have. So, what precautions should we take if this Phoenix proves to be hostile?
I would avoid disengaging and finding cover.
I am guessing they are Ruby
Quite
Phoenixes
powerful.
are quite powerful and will probably incinerate us.
It is very likely.
Yes. And I am guessing they are also very resistant to anything that is fire related.
Immune, as a matter of fact.
Noted.
But what about cold?
They are not a fan of it.
Well, I suppose I could do something if need be. I'd rather not piss off a Phoenix, but
No, I'm just saying this because if it turns out that we have to fight, then I would rather know what we are up against. I would rather not we have to, but you know. Plenty of things we wanted. That didn't happen.
yes, well, we're doing our best.
Hmm.
We cannot control everything.
Mhm. Is there some way we can defend against its fire if it, worst comes to worst?
I would recommend not getting hit by it.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Castian.
I don't mean to be cheeky, but I am not sure what to tell you to avoid being lit on fire by a phoenix other than don't. Or use
No,
magic.
that is a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
I would
The
also like it noted I am made out of wood as a
Well,
note.
we definitely do not plan to get in any fights near you, so I hope that can be of some solace.
That's good to hear.
We would like to, even if worse come to worse, be away if it came to it. We'll have you obviously need your help with scans, but once we found it, we'll want to land away and come on foot. It might make for a less aggravating approach. We were told they might be quite hostile if we just are and coming towards its nest unannounced.
Are there any traditions that they followed with the fair folk? Celebrations or uh, one can't enter a house unless it's invited in.
Well, checking my databases, it does appear that they were very adverse to unwanted passengers. And they also enjoyed 14 behaviors, romantic or otherwise. They were entertained by the social cat and mouse, according to my information.
Interesting.
Yes, I actually have a rather in-depth retelling of mating courtship, but I am thinking you're not interested in that.
Uh,
Not at the moment.
not at the moment. Keep it to the side. Keep it ready.
Okay, keep it bookmarked.
Yeah. Just in case we have to get silly with this. These are
The
highly
only thing
intelligent.
that was just coming to my brain was, you humans sure are a breedable bunch.
I'm sitting here imagining fucking a bug's life.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
Right then.
Where they fucking make the giant bird to scare all the other, like I think the cockroaches away or whatever.
I think they called them grasshoppers, but they looked more like crickets to me, but you know.
Yeah. Kids don't know the difference. It's fine. Um, it's a bug. That's all that mattered. But so Phoenixes were very interested in courting and court behavior.
Romantic or otherwise.
Yeah.
They enjoyed playing
Otherwise-
the game, TM.
Yeah. They enjoy the social cat and mouse.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, that's valuable information. But they didn't have like any festivals that were celebrated in their name or by them.
Nothing uniquely to them, no.
Okay. How do we? Well, we have some experience with court. Not probably the experience that we need, but
Well, we've been flying by the seat of our pants since we left Violet Maple, so
how many people here know how to cook?
What
I
level?
mean I can cook.
Roll me
Got a
craft
bunch of cooking
cooking.
supplies. Okay. Give me a second. I have that.
You don't actually have to roll.
Really, just cook normal, simple meals, but nothing fancy.
I have
Well,
profession cook, so yes, I can cook.
excellent. First off, if you don't mind,
Mm-hmm.
could you get a recipe of something that you would think would be courtly and regal for potentially 1 to 3 60-foot guests?
Cassie, and I'm gonna need more information about Phoenix's eating habits.
They're omnivores, so yes.
Does the ship happen to have any fancy servingware?
No.
I think we're going to
Unfortunately, my
be-
vessel did not come equipped with that kind of gear.
I think we can do well to buy food supplies and plates in town.
I mean, depending on what it is, I could probably already start experimenting with some of that stuff with what I bought yesterday, or not yesterday, earlier
Mhm.
today.
I don't think we need to be too over the top. We don't need to throw a banquet, but It doesn't hurt to have some meal prepared.
The
see.
only explicit dietary information I can find is that they were omnivores, as I have already said, and checking through, they specifically, generally, did not attend the Night Crown feasts.
What did the Night Crown feasts consist of?
Well,
It was people,
to be
wasn't it?
blunt, yes, it was mortals stolen away from the mortal plane,
Ah,
or other fair folk captured on hunts.
No,
I
don't
appreciate
serve
your
them.
approach to that with tact.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
I try.
It was one of those things that I imagine someone's like, "Oh, let me just turn to that thing." Ooh, ooh, you sure you want to? Well, on the bright side, I'm not afraid of them just wanting to eat us.
Yes.
How
That
I
better
didn't
moralistic of
say
you.
they wouldn't. They would prefer not to, according to my
Hmm.
information.
I mean, I suppose if they've killed us, food is food.
Yes. Hence their omnivore appetite. They are birds of opportunity.
Hmm.
Ursula, I'm thinking of something from the stories: a roasted pig with some sort of fruit in its mouth. I don't know if we can find any apples.
There has been neither hide nor hair of apples in this
I
land.
don't know that. I wonder if they'd like peppers.
Potentially.
Well, there was that. There was a fruit around here, right?
There are a bunch of different fruits, yes.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
no
they're a
apples.
variety.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't have to be an apple. It could be something else.
No, absolutely. It's just the imagery that's invoked,
Yeah.
envisioned an apple. But that's my thought, Ursula. Something that you would think would be fit for a banquet.
Also, a thought struck me with this current state of the town. Do you think we would even find any, in the state of nobility in general around here? Do you think we would even find fancy silverware?
I don't think we'll need the fancy silverware if they're going to be 60 feet tall. I doubt that they will want to use our forks that are maybe 6 inches.
Well, it's more a
Also,
trade.
they don't have hands. They are birds.
Well, silverware. I mean the the thing you put it on and with the hood.
I
I think that we'll be fine with plates.
I get what you're driving at.
That would have to be really big to fit one of these boars on there.
I have seen some very big.
No, I'm not
things.
saying you can't get one. I'm just saying,
I mean,
Yeah.
high likelihood you're gonna have to get something custom made.
well, like here's the thing. Basic economics, supply and demand. There's a supply, there's no nobility, low demand. They'd be probably willing to sell it on the cheap for whoever collected it. Unless, of course, if it is actual silver, they probably just melted it down to actual silver coins.
Maybe most ware like that tends to be sterling, not solid.
I will take your word for it. Tilk knows nothing. Actually, no. Knowledge nobility. I might know something.
Yeah.
How many people actually spent the extra buck for legitimate silver?
African or European?
Aldfair.
Yeah, I mean, it depends which noble family you're talking about and
Yeah.
where in Aldfair they are. Some of them do cheap bouts. Some of them spend more. It just depends.
Yeah.
Your family definitely paid out the ass.
Well,
the rebellion.
it's silver's in our crest, so I would imagine that we would. Did any of the families that we came with that knowledge and ability?
You're pretty sure most of them did not bring their fine silverware with them.
Okay.
You know, a good number of them brought a decent amount of stuff, but silverware was not high on the party list.
Fair enough. Likely we're not going to, there's not a supply of that. We would have to have something made. And if it was going to be made of silver, it would be expensive.
I think it would be better suited for us to just use wood or something similar. I think that perhaps we might be overthinking it a little bit with the solid silver platters and whatnot.
Just musing about the possibility.
I
Probably.
understand that. I'm just speaking from the former diplomat standpoint.
It is one of the things that we do need to be aware of, though, is that they do enjoy these
courtly rituals.
Courtly rituals, yeah. Mind you,
I think we can find other ways to exploit that, though.
Yes.
Ways that are not going to cost us more than the job will give us.
No, absolutely. I agree with that. It's just a thing that we should keep in mind as we plan this out.
Yes, I understand that, and I will be keeping that in mind when I make my suggestions.
I'm just envisioning us walking into a middle of a field. We have the roasted boar, but we have it on a folding table with with our quote unquote fancy tablecloth on it. And I'm just given flashbacks of actual Thanksgivings I've had.
Is the table one leg isn't it's a little short too?
It was always out. Well, it wasn't always outside, but it's usually out. It usually happened outside, so it didn't matter because the dirt wasn't even either.
True.
It fixed itself.
Fair.
But Erstyle, let me rephrase this. Master Chef Erstyle, we await your suggestions and your recipe.
I'll have to take a look more into it because I only have a limited supplies for cooking at this time. Also, if it's gonna be something big for like 3 huge birds, that's gonna require a lot of ingredients. Look down at notes.
Well, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty if we need to round up a wild aurochs or two.
I mean, that might be not a bad idea, is getting some aurochs. It's local, but still a good amount. It's generally, I like it, at least.
Well, actually, aurochs might be easier to work with. They do provide a lot more meat. Yeah, no, that sounds like something we will probably have to work with. Unless, of course, we get a lot of boar.
We went from Pathfinder to Master Chef. I love it.
In
This is what
in this episode of
There are
Hell's
jokes I
Kitchen,
want to make, but I can't because spoilers.
Look, I know
Yeah.
for a fact that that right now there are not enough ingredients that is currently in this settlement for me to actually attempt to make adobo in game.
I appreciate the thought.
Mm-hmm.
But first we need to find them. So let's see if we can get a quick scan going north. See what
That
we
is
can
where there's
find.
yes.
Because if we're far
Keep in
enough
mind,
away,
I can only scan up to 10 miles.
Yes. We're probably going to need to end up going there.
but
Uh,
scan 10 miles is not a bad range.
It's
It's
just
not.
not what we need right now.
Yeah.
Because if they were just dots on the horizon that he could see but not make the color out of, then they are well more than 10 miles away.
As I recall, Castian could cover 60 miles in an hour, or no? I think
No,
it
he was doing well more than that.
Hang
You
on.
do
Not,
60
not 60 miles.
squares.
It was 60 hexes an hour.
Yeah.
Each hex being about 12 miles.
Yeah, Castian moves 60 hexes an hour. We were gone for 4 years. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
720 miles in an hour. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, he's fast as fuck, boy.
And
Any
he can
faster,
go
and it's
faster.
gonna.
It's just dangerous for us.
Yeah, it's gonna cause problems. So do you want him to start moving? Where do you want him to go? What's the plan?
Let's head north, the direction that the farmer said, and we will go from there.
Or okay.
I mean,
All right.
with a perception check, or I can try to make some sort of knowledge check. With how he described them, could we estimate a distance? Knowing
How
now that
far away they were?
about how far away they were when he saw them. Now that we know how big ruby phoenixes typically are.
They would have to be pretty fucking far. You've
Yeah.
not had a lot of experience with spotting massive birds in the sky to really formulate just how far away they'd have to be.
Yeah, but also we know what their preferred biome is. We can start heading that way until we hit that and start our search there.
Yeah.
I think that is the play here, at least as far as I can tell.
No, yeah, just seeing if we can try to narrow it down just a little bit further or not.
I mean, if they were in flight, then we're not gonna know where their nest necessarily is anyway, because that means they're on the move.
So, do you just want to go north for an hour and see what you see?
At
Or
least
do you
until
want to
we hit
settle the
like
parameters?
hilly or mountainous terrain.
Okay.
Because if they're not gonna make their nests outside of that, because Björd, then it behooves us to just keep going till we hit that.
So gonna go where's my snipping tool? Me.
Me.
So you're gonna go about 8 hexes when you are gonna hit water. This obviously is not a full view of everything that you're aware of, but this is going north from what you can see at the elevated height and going 8 hexes north. You can keep going north if you want, or you can adjust your path.
I see some mountains towards the east there using the map.
I will tell you, those are not mountains. It looks flat and gray as far as you can tell.
Oh,
I
joy.
mean, let's check it out anyway, I guess. It is the closest different thing that we have. Otherwise, follow the coast.
If we're following the coast, we'll come in sight of it anyway and get a better look.
Mm-hmm.
Move you effectively 20 hexes. So a few more minutes, you can see the land below turns from this hilly shrubland and just slowly flattens out, and it's like the vegetation is gone. The land is dried and cracked in like this sort of like ashy gray color.
Castian,
Yes.
what would you call this terrain below us?
I would identify it as a wasteland.
Oh, so something not likely to be host to a ruby phoenix.
Not likely, no.
Would it be host to any other phoenixes potentially?
Would it be host to anything?
Not likely, no.
Okay.
Although I will say life is a stubborn thing, I would not be surprised if there are life forms somehow scratching out an existence down there.
Do you know what makes something like this in the middle of what appears to be perfectly good land? Seems
I don't
odd
know
that
if
this
I
just
would.
exists.
I would not make assumptions on the quality of the land.
Ah.
Well, we can try to see if we go further, but I think we're starting to potentially get out of where it was seen. I could be wrong, because like we stated, if they were in flight and such large birds as they are, could be farther. We could continue to follow the coast, see if we find different terrain.
I mean, I think it's behooves us to do so. It looks like this coast stretches back at least straight north if it doesn't end up going west again. If the man saw this, he may not have realized there was water in between him and the distant figures.
So, continuing north?
I think following the coast is the way here.
Yep. Any objections?
Questions, comments, concern?
I'm concerned at all times, don't you worry.
Understandable.
First
My
off,
voice is starting to
Scribblenate is
rebel
so
against
bad.
me.
The flesh is weak.
Arsta, on the bright side, there's one thing that you don't have to check on to make sure that they are a red vampire, and that is Castian.
Would you like to make sense motive against Castian?
He's a sentient. Yeah. I'd be more concerned that he is a red vampire.
So a few minutes later, you see in the distance as the terrain begins to change. You can, for one of you, see something vaguely familiar. But gnarled, pointed, twisting, and dense, almost bone-like protrusions from the ground, like massive trees, sticking up like shattered bones at the sky.
Well, this is
Okay, now this is getting very concerning. What even is all this? Can I make a nature check?
Sure.
Like, this actually has like set as curiosity. Nature 14. 31?
So, you're looking at this as casting slows down. It's kind of this land approaching closer and closer.
Feels ominous.
It almost looks like you think they're trees. They look like trees. I mean, they look a little different than trees you know, but they're really dense. It looks like it could be some kind of forest, but no leaves or anything, no foliage from what you can tell. It almost looks like if you were to have a forest of like charcoal, like if you like flash fired an entire forest, and instead of like crumbling down into ash, everything just like carbonized, but it's not, nothing looks burnt. Like it doesn't look like carbon. It's just this weird bone white, almost like a fossil or something. You're, as far as a nature perspective, this does not strike you as natural.
Hey, Castian.
Yes.
Can you do a sense? Can you do a scan of these trees as we go over them?
Yes, I will scan once we get closer.
Thank you.
3, 4, 36, 30. Okay. Do that. Get a good snip of this.
I thought you said sniff for a second.
Yeah, it smells like tree. Like flash
Yeah.
carbonized tree.
Castian waits until you have this strange forest-like biome beneath you, and he begins scanning. Curious. I am detecting remnant signatures of what could be recognized as trees, but they are different, altered by magic, from what I can tell.
What do you mean?
One moment. Is going to make his own analysis check.
What's with this continent?
That
Freaky
is
trees.
Herstell's not
right.
even paying attention to your comment. Herstell is actually just staring at the trees.
My my analysis is reporting variable information. This is something I'm not very familiar with. My systems would like to suggest some kind of what some may refer to as some kind of corruption of some magical nature.
Is it
But
dangerous?
I cannot say for certain. I'm not sure. I am detecting life signs, though. Fungus, insects.
Are they healthy?
I am also detecting. One moment. I'm gonna make another check.
Oh boy.
I am detecting some larger life signs, but things I do not recognize.
We may not want to sidetrack too much and risk running into something that is not something we need to deal with.
Hostile.
If it is hostile, it may be a waste of our time, effort, resources, and health to
We
handle.
we should investigate still what this might be, because it might be a while we are here.
Can you pull up image? Can you pull up, or can you zoom in on this for us as we go over Cassian?
I can. Although if I do so while I'm moving, it will be not a good image.
Fair.
Something is better than nothing for right now. I would rather just
Very
have
well.
something for reference.
Section of bark becomes a viewing screen. And do you want him to keep moving north?
Northeast it a little bit, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, let's keep moving north, even if you want to pull them a little east.
So only a little east. Okay.
I'm just my suggestion.
North by northeast.
Okay.
There.
So do this. 3, 44, 5, 46, 7, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54.
That said, I'm starting
it's
to
about
wonder more and more
here.
if he could have seen phoenixes from this far, even as big as they are.
Starting to stretch that a good bit, yeah.
This is what all is viewable from the height you're at. You can see viewing the land beneath you, it is this fuzzy blur of bony white protrusions just jabbing out at the sky, dense and gnarled. However, in the distance, one to the west, one to the north, you can spot what looks like perhaps signs of civilization. Ruined structures that are a sort of a grayish color compared to the bone white of the bony trees around them.
God, I want to check this out so bad.
Stay on target.
We gotta stay on target. This may be something to come back to, though.
Yeah. I think we're starting to stretch how far old Jackson can see.
I
make
agree.
Okay. Well, we should probably make a note of this place. We should very much investigated later. Is there any dangerous, like, energies around here or anything?
I will make a scan. Oh.
I think we.
Good O or bad O?
How long have we been gone?
It is almost been an hour.
Okay, I think we can, for the sake of
Um,
things, once we move, we can move farther. But I want to hear this. Oh,
It's so Cassian got a nat 20.
oh, neat.
Nice.
He has a plus 20.
Nice.
Nice.
So he
Good shit, dude.
scans and he is quiet for a long moment as he hovers there. I see. One moment. Processing new information. I have been able to identify stronger sources of this, what is reading as corruption.
Mm-hmm.
You would likely recognize the source as some kind of divine magic. I am picking it up in 2 locations that coincide with landmarks that are visible from this perspective.
Oh boy.
Knowledge, religion? Would I understand what this corruption is?
I'm
Sure,
guessing
give
it's
me
head here
knowledge
just
religion.
because.
What?
It's
doing?
you're all the way down.
Yup, man.
But yeah, knowledge religion very applicable here. Knowledge arcana can be as well.
I'm going to search.
By all means.
I'm not going to pre-surge, but I am going to be ready to surge.
I only got a 16.
That's okay.
Exile gets a 31 on religion.
Okay.
You know what? Just for funsies, I'll surge. I think we'll sleep before we do something. 33 on Arcana.
Okay. 16 on religion. Land being corrupted by divine magic screams desecration to you. But as far as you're concerned, desecration can only be done in a limited area. Ursile, same information, but hypothetically, if you desecrate something long enough and you do some awful shit of some significance and take steps to spread that desecration, hypothetically, desecration can be pretty gnarly. For you specifically, you do recall a very specific point of desecration from the old world. Let me. Is that not there? Let me see. I have to find my old map. Un momento. It big. I have to zoom in to read it. Okay. You recall stories that your mother told you of the Scar of Gormer, which you recall Gormer was a wood elf druid who, according to your mom, went bad.
He went off
He
the
went
plantation.
crazy.
He went off the plantation.
Pretty much. He went crazy some years ago. And this was in ages past. Long before your mother's time, obviously. But there was a little bit of a civil war, as there were a lot of druids that went with him, and there is a part of the realm of the Wood Elves that has been permanently corrupted and ruined because of it. And at the heart of it is what is known as the ruins of Janaloon. She probably showed you a map. So I can I'll give you a very bird's eye view of the map from where the Scar Gormer was in relation to Violet Maple in the old world.
Oh, oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
Violet Maple's all the way on the far right. The Scar of Gormer is that big gray splotch all the way on the left.
That's big.
I'm
This is
sorry. I'm
colossal.
sorry. I'm what? We're all the way over fucking there, and
No,
that's
no, we're
all the
not.
way over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the entire old world mapped. It's a massive
Okay.
continent.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's roughly what of the story that my mom would have told.
Yeah. She didn't go into a lot of details about what that place is like, but it is permanently fucked from what type of fucked up magic they were doing.
Intriguing.
I believe
Intriguing.
Damiani, you rolled Arcana.
Yes. 30.
Yeah, I mean, arcane magic can potentially corrupt things. It's not unheard of. But something like this, definitely not arcane. Most likely divine. You believe you've heard of like desecration before. You don't really know how it works necessarily, other than it's generally in the purview of bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what Arcana tells you.
Okay.
There is a nagging sense of familiarity looking down at this site, though.
Hmm.
It reminds
Trying to
me
think of
of
why I would find it familiar.
I could think of a couple of reasons, but I'm Brandon. Not
This
total.
doesn't resemble like where the murder birds hung out, right?
You vaguely remember being impaled by something bony white with a wood-like texture, continuously rubbing against your ribcage.
Oh God, no!
To quote Damiani, at least in 2 or 3 different sessions, the murder birds are going to be interesting.
They are, and I hate it.
Is there any danger to you around here, Casting?
I am not sensing any immediate threat, but I am detecting a lot of life forms I do not recognize.
Okay, so the ambience of this place isn't going to screw you over, at least.
The vibe is off.
No. I
failed the
am
vibe check.
safe.
That is good, at least. Well, maybe we should make a map note of those 2 locations that were quote unquote.
The ruined civilization area.
Yeah. Do you think we should
when
take a detour now, or because this is actually pretty notable?
Especially because it's also technically not too far off from
Yeah.
Malor Bay.
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry.
Bay, still think that's a dumb name.
Well, it is what it is.
Yes, it is, but doesn't mean I have to like it. Anyway, jeez. Yeah, this gives me sour vibes.
Well, we should
Do we
probably
want to keep going? At this point,
we
I'm both I'm sunk cost fallacy. I think that if we keep going, we'll see something different eventually, and we haven't been gone that long, so it's not like it's cost us much in time.
no,
But
but this
also,
is
I think it is incredibly unlikely that somebody saw anything from this distance away.
yeah. So let's check this place out because this is giving uh well oh some vibes.
I don't want to
Here's
check anywhere out, um, especially not anything that even vaguely resembles a dream where I died.
Well,
that's fair and valid. We unfortunately we do need to make sure that we are accomplishing what we came out here to do.
That's
Um,
fine. I do not think the Phoenixes are here.
no, and I agree with that.
I think that this is significant enough that we might need to check it out.
I don't. Why?
Well,
Why does it need to be checked out now when we have a different objective?
because the Phoenixes aren't really going anywhere. It's
Neither is this.
We're guaranteed a payout from finding the Phoenixes.
We have
Um,
no reason to check this out right now.
How serious of a time crunch are we actually on?
We don't
No,
know. They get to incur cost to us whenever they feel like. We boarded Castian in visible sight of the wall, and therefore they know that we're on board. So they could, once we
Okay.
come back, say, "Hey, what'd you find? Pay us money." Um,
I mean, if we didn't find anything, we can't pay them anything.
are you gonna
Right.
believe us?
So,
We've left for
hmm,
several hours multiple times and they haven't decided to charge us. I'd just like to get money for rent and paying
right. So,
for
how
getting things
serious of
ready.
a time crunch are we really on right now?
We're not on a serious time crunch, I believe, Erstyle. It is more of a preference than a dire need.
Well, we are on one time
If it
crunch,
only took us a short amount
longer
of
term
time to
one.
get here, thanks to Castian,
Yes. What
how
would have
ser-
taken us weeks.
how detrimental is a few hours of actual exploration?
my issue with that is that exploration could be used on finding the Phoenixes, the things that we are guaranteed a payout on.
Yeah,
We risk life and limb in these locations because, I mean, like Castian noted, there is corruption here. If we get corrupted and bring that back, that's an issue. And we have no promise of gain from going into these. I'm curious, I agree. I do want to investigate these at some point, but now is not the time or place, I believe.
I think perhaps at some point I can be convinced to do so. I am vehemently against it right now, where it gets us nothing and risks us everything.
It's not a we won't touch these later kind of deal. I am curious. It's just that as of this point, we have gotten off the track of what we came out here to do and are beginning to wander away from that. I'd like us to get back on track, get the Phoenix feathers, because that could help the Alchemist Guild with remedies for the people.
Yes.
Whereas if we go into here and one of us gets corrupted, then we're bringing a new illness back, potentially.
Or or if it's anything inhabited by anything like what I saw in my dreams, yes, we're not. No. I would like to just focus on the Pheonix right now.
Understandable. If going north then is not doing anything else, Castian, can you mark this location in your databases for note?
Of course.
Thank you. Perhaps we should try traveling either more inland or more south. Because if I do remember, when our time to return to what is now known as Valor Bay, there were several mountains in that direction.
I mean, yes, the Jackson spotted them farther north.
Yes.
So I think we just might want to more thoroughly scan the hills to the north.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good idea. My wonder is, Jackson, unless he was absolutely hallucinating, and just seeing things, he had to see something. So what did he see up here?
A bird
may
of some
not-
kind.
It may not have been up here. We're roughly 60 hexes away from the city.
You are 53 hexes you have traveled.
And each hex is roughly 10 miles?
12 miles. 12.
So we are a long ways away.
Yeah, 720 miles at this point, and I think that's farther than anyone can just see.
Not with that a vantage point, at the very least.
Well, unless they have some very, very good peepers.
I think even then, without it being supernatural.
Yeah, that was what I meant.
I mean, maybe Tilk is going to say this jokingly. Maybe Jackson was
I mean, it's always
supernaturally
possible,
gifted.
but
What does his
Yeah.
elf eye see?
anyway, let's just head north and check out the hills and maybe do a bit of scanning there.
I mean,
Any
back,
luck, it is what we're looking for.
wanting to head back to the north of the city, or do you want to travel further north? I just want Brandon is wanting to
I think
clarify.
traveling further north while we're here is fine, because it looks like we do hit some hilly area. Even if it's not exactly what we're looking for. And I think once we go down south, it's a lot longer to come back up here and go past this wasteland than it is to just go the few extra minutes and hit the hill area here.
I think we should just head back. We have 2 points of interest now. We're going to be coming back up here later.
I mean, okay. It is unlikely he saw the Pheonix here, so I suppose it would be a bit silly to check the hills for it.
Countermeasures activated. Everything goes dark.
That's
And
unfortunate.
you feel your stomachs roll.
I feel my
as
fucking blood go.
Castian starts sinking from the sky
Brace yourselves.
like a fucking rock in a lake.
Oh no, they attacked. I am fucking Sveto's trying not to lose it and failing.
What?
Anything y'all would like to do while you are plummeting hundreds of feet by the second?
We need to get secure because we're probably going to break our necks if we are just bouncing around. Good. Let's check Cassian's heart, the crystal, and see if we can't get him back online. Alternatively.
Okay.
So you
So-
run for the crystal, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of bolting. I am saying this as I'm moving.
Bolting.
Are we
Okay.
Are we free falling inside of Cassian?
You're able to walk around and move around on the deck. Because right now Cassian is plummeting straight down.
Okay.
You are not airborne inside of Castian.
Oh.
But you can feel the motion happening, which is a very strange and sickening sensation.
Oh boy.
I unfortunately don't
Yeah.
have anything that I can do in this situation other than brace.
Okay. Sveta, or yeah, Fisk.
Yep.
Goes towards the core as well.
Okay. And what is Urstal doing?
First I will go to the nearest panel and see if there's any actual interface.
Okay. Yeah, where his panel normally appears with like displays and stuff, it is just bark. All the normal like glowing lights in here are completely out. It is dead silent, similar to when you all first entered Castian for the first time. It is as full of life as a tree.
Oh
And
god.
that's about it. Yep. Those of you running for the core, you enter the room where you can see Leona's carefully crafted and enruned diamond that is being held within the heart of Castian, effectively, surrounded by roots and such. And there is a like very, very dim flickering light in the center of the diamond. But yeah, that's it.
Well, start with detect magic to start analyzing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
you can immediately tell, like, obviously this is a magic item.
mhm.
You can see the lingering effects of essentially shit, I can't remember what the terminology is for the gauging the spell levels. Detect magic. So I'm almost sort of throwing out adjectives. Yeah, you end up sensing a very strong dispel magic effect that is lingering.
Someone
But you can
dispelled the magic.
also pick up that Castian has not been entirely dispelled. It looks like that you're not really sure to the intricacies of the magic involved with Castian. He's a very complex I almost said machine, but he's not a machine.
He's a tree.
Yeah. Very complex in the magic that is involved.
A simple dispel probably wouldn't be able to take him out, but it might be able to stun him or something.
Yeah, it is effectively a dispel effect. Like all of his systems depend on magic. They have temporarily been disabled, but you can tell he has not been completely robbed of magic. He has essentially been forced to shut down. And you can tell like the magic in his core is attempting to flare up to reactivate.
Is there anything we can do to assist it?
Yeah, if you want, you can yeah, actually you can sacrifice spell slots to pump mana into it
So
to try to give it a kick.
Rhea is going to. Can I use one of my mythic spell slots?
Sure, absolutely.
Because she is going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll use a couple of second level.
Okay, so you're using specifically 2 second level slots.
Yeah, because I got 4
Okay.
of those total right now.
She is using the spell slot for and using it as she would use her mythic scorching ray, which is a second level.
Okay. Okay. So we'll do that is
Good news, it is not permanent. Bad news, it's something dispelled it.
yeah, we'll do this. So yeah, you dump some raw magic energy into the core as it's flickering, and it starts flickering brighter and brighter until all of you can see the lights inside suddenly flicker back on, and the churning in your stomach slows and slows and slows. And then you all kind of topple over as the ship lurches and starts speeding away. And after a moment, you hear, "Apologies. I temporarily lost power, it would seem. All systems have been restored."
You
Do
were
you know why?
You were temporarily dispelled.
Yes, I had detected a spike in magic and attempted to counter it, but my systems were overwhelmed.
A caster? Or
Yes,
environmental?
it was a spell directed at me.
Oh, well, now we definitely don't want to be here.
Huh. Did you could you locate where did you figure out where it came from?
I did not have time to analyze its source.
Do you have a
Any
general direction
lingering
of where you
issues?
can find it?
I was not able to determine a general direction. I was aware of the surge of magic, and I attempted to counter it.
No, I understand. Let's just get out of here.
I am ahead of you. Yeah, you can like if you make your way back to like the observation deck effectively, you can see Castian is already speeding southward.
And Rhea is like, any lingering issues? Anything we should check?
I'm running a diagnostics right now. We'll make a
Rhea is just gonna help around and monitor the core a little.
Everything appears to be fine.
Good.
So, Toka's going to say this after falling to the floor and not getting back up, just in case, we fall out of the sky again. So, we'll do a recount on the vote. Who would like to visit the scary magical corruption place? Say aye.
I would certainly want to
Aye.
find out what the deal of this place is, and also, well,
I'm frankly fine never coming back.
and clearly it is a threat.
I'm frankly fine never coming back.
Well, let's get back to the mission at hand, and we can revisit this topic. Castian, I apologize for the danger that you were put in on that. I imagine that. Can you feel fear? Is that a scary experience for you?
I am capable of feeling a negative version of desire. If you want to call that fear, that is fine.
We'll call it adversity.
That's suitable.
talking above board. As much as I am interested in visiting those places where there is corruption and all that going on, I would like us to be at full strength before going dungeon delving, as I imagine that's
Yeah.
what those will end up being. And we are
Um.
currently down a person.
Yeah. I'm as a player, I'm interested. Sveta's just kind of terrified, and also, not only are we not at full strength, we might not be the level for this. If it could, if something happened to just turn off Castian for a bit, you know.
Hard to tell. I'm unfortunately not as familiar with scaling in Pathfinder as I am in
I don't think
others.
that dispel. Well, I don't think our dispel magics would turn off Castian like that.
But no, let's get back to just a little bit north of the city, and we can do. I say a little bit north. We're still multiple hexes away. Uh, get a couple hexes north of the city, and we can start doing some more detailed scans.
Well, yeah, let's get south before to the south of the corruption, and then maybe head east and see if we can find some mountains there.
So, do you want to go east in the wastelands, or
No, we're gonna go south of the. At least Sveta's vote is go south of the wastelands,
Okay.
and then head east.
okay?
That is her suggestion.
We'll do this. There is.
If everybody is okay with that, I don't want to like domineer our direction.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
That is about. It's going to be a little over an hour. But I think that is worth showing y'all a significant portion of the map with how much y'all would be aware of. Should be aware of. You probably would have flown out at an angle. Yeah. Going a little over an hour.
That was thoroughly scary to Sveta.
You
She
can
is
have
afeared.
this update.
Oh, that's very big. There's some mountains there, but that's direct east. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of corruptive area. Why did we land here?
It was either
The bay
land
you
here.
landed in was safe.
Clearly not.
I mean, the bay's still safe.
Dire lions, corrupted lands, just the fucking dick's hair away.
Hey, you know
It's
what I'm
really
seeing?
not, though. You have to keep in mind each hex is 12 miles.
No, I get that,
Yeah.
but like that is still scarily close.
You're traveling, like, if you're traveling on foot, that's effectively a hex a day if we were doing typical hex exploration. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, about 15 hexes. So about 15 days just to reach the tip of the wasteland.
So we're only 2 weeks from hell. Got it.
Hey, what I
That's
just
the
heard.
wasteland. That's not the corruption.
What I just heard is that is a threshold in which the empire that is on this continent probably doesn't fuck with. Either there's no reason for them to go up that far, so these borderlands are probably relatively untouched. Or if they're on the other side of that, they're like, why the fuck would we cross that? There's nothing. There's no reason for us to do that on foot. We'll
Yeah,
send
I
our
get that we
scouts,
like
see what
went
happens.
a couple of months of distance, but that's still scary. It still has me afeared.
Ooh, mountain. Wow.
Those mountains are hard east though, and the farmer reported seeing them farther north. I think we're better off sticking to.
I mean, they could have traveled. Like they were in flight, so they may have gone
That's true.
west or north or northwest to do it. I think that is our best bet for mountainous terrain that the Phoenix is like. So
That's not too far from.
and it's not a huge amount of area, so it's at least worth checking out.
Castian,
Yes.
is there any activity of like creatures flying behind you?
No, I have been monitoring. We have not been followed.
Anything lower than you that potentially could be following us?
Can you tell
No,
if
not
we've
as far
been?
as I could tell.
Can
But I
you
can only
tell?
scan up to 10 miles.
Right.
Can you tell if you are being monitored magically?
If they're within my scanning range, I could.
Okay.
I'm now convinced the murder birds can do magic.
I don't know what gave you that idea. That's
The magic.
That's a fucking stretch, I think.
I think you're fucking with
me.
I caught a fish and it was this big. Fuck you.
So
Well
we're heading
then.
towards the mountain.
Yeah, that again, my vote. That's what
which,
I think.
So technically, Castian is floating in between these two ranges.
I guess let's go to the farther
would you
one
prefer?
because it's smaller and quicker to do, and then they're probably not there, so we'll head to the one that's closer to town. What do you guys think?
Sure.
That's viable.
Okay. So you start flying over this this smaller range of mountains here. I'll give you a little area update. You can, so you kind of come down a little lower so you can see the area a little bit better. Start hovering over this mountain range. They're pretty rocky. Not a lot of foliage, just occasional like shrubs and other like bushes and some grasses here and there, but very rocky mountains here. You also see like some natural like overhangs and stuff like that. And as you are kind of checking things out, Castian will chime. Proximity alert detected. There is a large organism closing in from above.
Can you get us a picture?
One moment. You will see a screen pops up, and you can see a big crimson shadow overhead, slowly gliding down.
I guess let's not run, but
yeah,
handshake.
In a moment, there is like a wall of red feathers adjacent to the viewing windows at the front of Castian, and you can see a large black eye that is likely as big as these windows staring back at you along this massive wingspan.
Can you make us visible to it?
I believe it can see you.
Oh, okay. It's just looking inside already.
Yes.
A light wave.
Yeah, Speta gives like a small little wave, like hello. We mean you no harm.
Rhea
polite
does
wave,
a
Right.
polite bow.
courteous bow.
I'm going to cast comprehend languages on myself real quick.
Okay, you do that. For those of you waving and saying hello and stuff, give me a diplomacy check.
Oh dear.
Channel.
Oh, 9. So that means I have 4.
Oh, I'm so glad I rolled a 23.
Using divine. So 19 on with some divine assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Go Tilk. Do what you're designed to do.
Pretty stilted bow, I guess, but decent enough.
This one 19, or no, sorry, 23, a 35, and a 19. Okay. So you will make your gestures. This massive bird is gliding alongside Castian. You see it rarely has to flap its massive wings. And it coasts with you all for like a solid minute. And then it eventually peels away. And Cassian will say, it appears to be leaving westward. And it is now outside of my range.
Wow, that's fast. I think we found what we're looking
Castian?
for.
More than likely. Castian, is that a speed you can actually keep pace with?
Safely.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we should just race after them and look like we're chasing them, but you know.
No, but we should head that way.
Yes.
If that is what you would like to do.
I'm gonna go check on my food stuffs and see if I can improvise a small portion of thing.
Cassian turns around and starts going west. It takes a few minutes. You can make out the Pheonix in the distance. It is, staying a few miles ahead of you effectively. And it goes into this denser mountain range, and you're not entirely sure how, but visually you lose track of this thing. It gets into these dense mountains and starts weaving back and forth, and before you know it, it is out of your sight, deep inside these mountains. I will snipping tool, and I will give you a rough idea of where you lost track of it.
Okay.
All right.
Now we're gaming.
It is somewhere in that squared off region you lost track of it.
That's not too bad. We at least know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least
Maybe
one
we want
is.
to head to one of the edge hexes and I guess touch down there so that Castian isn't at risk of a firing?
That would be preferable. Plus, I'm not seeing much room for me to land inside the mountain range.
Yeah.
So where would you like to be dropped off? I will have it be known. It is about 15:30.
I mean,
So you have about 30-ish minutes before the sun begins to set.
yeah.
And then you'll have an hour before dark, effectively. So you have an hour and a half until nighttime, essentially.
Maybe we want to set up our own, like, sort of camp here on the edge.
We doing it in the mountains, or are we doing it in the grassland?
I mean, we're approaching them, so unless they want to come out to the mountains, we kind of are forced to come out to the grassland. We're forced to go into the mountains.
I'm just asking for where we're going to be setting up camp. Are we going to do it in the grasslands, or are we going to do it in the mountains?
I think we should do it in the grasslands.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
It's going to be a hell of a trek up mountains if each hex is 12
Oh.
miles.
Yeah, that's how it be sometimes, I guess.
Well, I think we will call the session here, give you guys some time to plan things out, and we
Okay.
will come back next session with a battle plan.
Cool.
No level up this time.
Naturally, we're
You
just
haven't
kicking around.
accomplished a mythic task. You've learned some things.
An experience.
very
We were
important
attacked
things.
by some things.
Yes. And next time we're going to see how the hell you're going to handle this Pheonix. And we will, presuming we will have Leona, we will do some hand wavium for her to be present.
Of course. She's just been busy napping or something.
Something like that. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed the session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brandon, is your shit fucked? Okay, well, that's probably a good thing that we're wrapping this up then, because Brandon's mic is not working.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do not know the correct command. Oh, here it is. Okay, we will catch you all next one. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see how this Pheonix situation resolves next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.